喂，早晨啊！早晨啊，蘑菇Kuli 同埋 Mr. N。早晨啊，林太陽。我搞掂啲今日禮拜 deadline。唉，放假終於呢個禮拜勁長。我星期三係經歷咗我呢度第一次通頂，就坐撚咗成晚，但係我成晚又唔係成晚喺度做緊嘢，我係喺度拖延咯，喺度，跟住我成日都係咁，跟住搞到天光未撚做完啊！我嗰日1點鐘堂我10點鐘先搞掂，跟住瞓咗2個鐘，屌佢老味！我經歷咗我第一個通頂喺度，傻鳩鳩啊！一份星期日 dead，邊有功課係星期？邊有啲 lecturer 俾功課係星期日 deadline？係咪黐線？一定係星期五啊 dead 㗎啦，係嘛？咁忙都唔係咁忙嘅，其實 workload 啊真係唔算多，係我呢個禮拜喺度拖延啊！你做乜撚嘢？呢個禮拜喺度呢個禮拜唔知做乜嘢好勁唔 productive 啊！唔知係咪唔知邊度出問題我上個禮拜明明係好 willing to 做嘢，但係今個禮拜唔知做乜嘢。希望我下個禮拜係好似之前咁樣，真係會。我諗都 nice 嘅即係俾多2日你哋。即係星期日 deadline 又唔係咁好咯，星期日 deadline，即係星期6日冇得放假。如果俾咗我會希望份功課係星期5 deadline，咁我星期6日就可以放假，唔使做嘢。個人出咗問題，係啊，人出咗問題啊。Elomate MK Elomate，早晨啊，呢個角度會唔會好啲啊？早晨啊 MK。唉，早晨啊，同埋我想講，我喺度做緊嘢咧。今晚食嘅咩？今晚唔肚餓，我晏晝先出去食。跟住我一日一餐，今日懷疑我陣間唔知食唔食嘢好。女咩女啊？我想講咩咧？啱啱我想講係你話今晚食咗女係嘛？你傻傻地嘅靈女。我想講我坐喺度做嘢咧，我揸住呢支嘢咧，即係呼吸機咁嘛！我屌佢老母，我喺度做嘢啦 ，focus 做嘢啦，諗唔到就咁樣。我跟住我諗咗成晚啦嚇，我可能5啖氣啊，我唞一啖呢個咁樣黐撚線啊！我意識到嘅時候已經天光啦，我已經食晒成個煙彈。懷疑個肺而家係好大煙霧彈入邊，煙霧瀰漫。食的不是尼古丁係靈感，唔係冇靈感係冇靈感就吸到傻撚咗我都唔知我都唔知。哇！真係唔係講笑，我坐喺度望住個空咗一半嘅 Word 檔咁樣啦，跟住我喺度哇！真係 真係好戇鳩，真係。我係子瑩，做乜你喺度嘅？黐線啊！你做乜喺度啊？屌，暴露晒，含晒咁鋪。唔係唔係，我講緊係一年前係一年前講 deadline 嗰陣時嚇，依家唔係，依家唔係啊，冇，依家冇啊！子瑩師兄早晨，做乜撚嘢啊？好驚！我而家我放鬆事故，我收台先啊！今日開咗6分鐘啊，大家要瞓嘅就瞓啦，唔使瞓嘅就唔好瞓啦。我走先，放鬆事故啊！走先，唔俾人喺度好差嚇，冇，黐線嚇！歡迎，大家好嚇，我係世家好。我睇過一個圖咧，睇過一個 GIF 圖咧，佢係話大家好，中家好，同埋咩啊？我唔記得咗，好戇鳩。原來係咁，呢度唔興用嗰啲呢啲顏文字啊！呢度唔興用顏文字，呢啲唔知咩嚟㗎。邊人係？我第一次喺呢度見到顏文字，係咪調轉咗？世家好，中家好啊！係，哇！果然係林太陽，你即係我講啲戇鳩嘢咧，通常都冇乜人 get 到，即係我自己都唔係好清楚啲戇鳩嘢啊，得你先最清楚啊，知咩事啊？少少戇鳩㗎啦，師兄。OK fine，唔係，即係戇鳩係好事嚟嘅，即係證明你融入到呢個環境係咪先？話你戇鳩仔，唔係話你閲歷好多嚇，話你睇得啲嘢比較 broad 啲，即係咩都識少少咁樣，即係戇鳩嗰範你都好了解咁樣咯，即係唔係話你戇鳩嘅。雖然呢個我唔知啊，呢個係咪事實？我已經嚟咗1個月咯，係我尋日同個 friend 出咗去食宵夜，佢車咗我出去食宵夜。佢話突然間屎忽痕想食嘢，問我食唔食。咁我咁啱未食夜晚飯，咁12點鐘我哋出咗去食宵夜咁樣，食個咩牛雜。跟住咧，我坐喺度同佢講嘢咧，我同佢講話，我尋日做緊嘢嗰陣時咧，突然間即係做下嘢咧，突然間諗到一件事咧，就係我突然間覺得成件事好唔真實啊！即係我突然間我坐喺度打緊份 work 嗰陣時咧，打緊份assignment 啊，跟住我 stuck 住咗嗰陣時咧，我喺度諗，哇！突然間好唔真實啊！嗰個成件事，即係我而家身處喺呢度，跟住自己住咗1個月，跟住喺度做緊嘢嚇，我突然間覺得成個畫面好唔真實啊！做咩無啦啦嚇，好似發一場夢咁樣啊！無啦啦就喺一個咁奇怪嘅地方嗱，跟住佢就話啊，佢話我都覺得好唔真實啊咁樣，佢話即係佢話佢咁多即係佢啲 friend 啦嚇。即係個話咩嚟澳洲點樣嚇？即係佢成日叫啲 friend 嚟澳洲揾佢咁樣啦，好悶啊呢邊咁樣。跟住咧佢又話：哇！佢話我嚟咗咧嚇，佢都覺得好唔真實啊嚇。即係佢話咁多 friend 入邊咧嚇，我係最即係佢唔 expect 係我會真係嚟撚咗咁樣啦。佢話依家坐喺度食飯食宵夜啊嘛。佢話對面坐住你嚇，我都覺得好唔真實咁樣啦。佢話係呢個係尋日一件好得意嘅嘢嚟嘅，靈魂出竅咗，係咪暗示緊啲咩？我唔知喎，我係覺得好神奇㗎，真係某程度上好神奇嘅，係咪佢唔想同仔食？原來係呢個意思，原來係我 get 錯咗，原來係佢唔想對面嗰個人有鳩。不過我尋日係嚟到呢度第一次有呢個 呢個 sudden inspiration 啊，就係突然間醒起，突然間望一望自己嗰個環境咁樣，跟住突然間哇，做乜撚嘢咁樣啊？幾搞笑！跟住同埋食牛雜咯，係啲香港嘢嚟嘅。個名叫香港鋪頭咁樣，香港鋪頭嘅一間嘢，但係入邊係啲人係唔係香港人嚟嘅，好似係廣東人咯，啲講啲廣東話唔鹹唔淡咁樣。不過啲牛雜好撚正，你食唔食牛雜㗎？我識好多人咧，佢係特別係女仔嚇，女仔係唔中意食，哇內臟好核突啊咁樣。我食爆啊！我係聽過啲人話啲內臟好核突咁樣，哇邊人食嗰啲啊？唔係鬼佬先唔食內臟，我唔知啊。我見到入邊都好多鬼佬㗎喎，嗰間嘢夜媽媽1點鐘得嗰度開緊，可能跟住話咩啲牛肚啊乜柒乜柒好難食咁樣。我牛肚真係買飛佛真係。哎呀，好核突啊！哎呀，邊有人食呢啲㗎？呢啲應該抌咗佢㗎嘛？邊有人煮嚟食㗎？哎呀，誒，我又扮咗波女人，屌你好似之前打機嘅死姣婆。哎呀，如果嗰陣時開台就好啦。如果嗰陣時，唔係喎，我嗰陣時真係開緊台。唔係牙蕉開緊台啊！牙蕉扮得好似啊！我好想開條片嚟睇，可唔可以揾條 link 俾我？好搞笑啊！我都玩煩嘅，我唔記得咗，我唔記得對話，好搞笑嘅係嗰個姣婆嚇係嚇。之前啱啱俾人驚，屌你尾講起食煙呢個話題俾人驚，佢叫咪撚食煙嚇，佢叫我唔好食煙嚇，咩食煙好早死咁樣嚇，佢叫我唔好食煙嚇，好撚驚。firm 太陽 firm，一齊睇下先。
薯片加我入嚟係為咗想執我把聲啊嘛？我都可以。識玩 A 一定係玩飯㗎，一定有人識玩飯。
我仲喺個內，即係佢 mute 入邊嗰個咪啊嘛，跟住我聽住佢台，佢個台講，我喺入邊笑傻撚咗。唉，好戇鳩啊！最衰冇剪埋條女，有啲聲嘅，我睇一聽一次先。
薯片加我入嚟係為咗想執我把聲啊嘛？我都可以㗎。識玩 A 一定係玩飯㗎，一定有人識玩飯。
唉，好戇鳩啊！真係。我仲記得嗰場玩狗頭，嗰條女個 friend 戇鳩仔，係咁俾我食炮兵，我屌佢老母醜化，方丈份人好小氣，好差勁。其實我排緊 L，已經排咗 呢個箱冇人玩，睇嚟10幾分鐘已經。唉，放假輕鬆18分鐘，我一嚟低呢可能冇乜新理事，我排親啲 NG 都係見到同一堆人，都係見到同一啲戇鳩仔，同一啲即係認得啲傻閪嚇，認得啲傻閪嚇，喺對面又好啊，自己隊又好，啲好撚皮鞋呢度啲人都 high in chat。係 say hi in chat 唔係 say hi in chat 喂，我睇緊，我今日晏晝檢舉係咪可以小撞到？唔係，我場場都檢啊，場場都喺度條。我今日晏晝啱啱夜晚喺度玩開台之前喺度玩 P&D， 睇嗰啲。關晒個柒頭先。跟住我睇嗰個泰妍嗰個 MV 好撚正，條女真係點解條女可以咁撚正？哇，排到啊，傻閪啊！搶個路先。Top。點解 P&D 跳泰妍？唔係 P&D 係啱啱做完嘢啊！泰妍係我睇緊，我做緊嘢嗰陣時走去睇 YouTube 睇到 P&D 重點係咩？係呢隻 game 好上癮啊！呢隻 game 我已經玩咗好撚多年，屌！玩咩好啊 ？Camille 免費玩飛有拉添，點解咁叻嘅？刪咗個 page 嘅咩神抄之塔嘅重度玩家，好差啊！嗰陣時出神魔之塔嗰陣時，我喺度周圍宣傳呢隻 game 幾撚柒。喂，點啊？
我係一個人，上2分鐘。
我喺上面，我喺露台掉俾你可以。
唔使食雪糕啊？
唔食咯，開台啊！
開台
啊？
傾緊偈啊屌！
咩啊？聽唔到？
傾緊偈。
傾偈？
得唔得？
唔得閒開台，一齊傾偈咯咁。
我好想同你台傾偈。
而家
開到幾點啊
？50幾個人喺度而家。
50幾個人？
啊？
點解？
點知點解？
你 IG 開台定係 Twitch 開台？
我 Twitch 開台啊
！50幾個人，你幾時咁多 fans？
你唔好理啦。 咩啊？我陣掉俾你咯。你嚟到打俾我就係。拜拜。條友成一日佢揸車嚇，完咗啲咩揸車，佢又話要打俾我，又係好大聲。OK 可以。會冇啲啊？條友一揸車成日冇嘢做啊，打俾我。屌你老母，成日做緊嘢，喂講，喂傾偈得唔得咁樣？我做緊嘢，喂做嘢都係傾偈嘅啫嚇。我做嘢傾偈 focus 唔到喎，得啦傾陣啦。喂，你知唔知你咁樣嚇好戇鳩條友？佢唔想同你傾偈嚇，佢唔想同你哋傾偈。佢係 introvert 嚟嘅。你哋有冇做林太陽有冇做 MBTI test 啊？知咩 MBTI test？
Do not hesitate. Strike quickly.
叫佢機喎。Oh fuck！ 我會記得自己咩？因為同嗰條女講起嚇，佢問起嚇，跟住我哋一齊講嘅呢個嘢，所以就記得啦。我同佢一樣，好撚癲。街通橋。
Others try, I succeed.
依家好興喎，依家好撚興喎 MBTI test。講真，溝女必備嘅呢個嘢，呢個 test，條條女都講緊，連黃瑤都講緊啦。溝女必備嘅呢個，第一句開場白就係：你係咩？你係咩人格嚟？黃蓉呢樣溝幾多女？真係數唔清，真係數唔清。食女帝啊，黃瑤。Nice, nice.
Is this supposed to be a challenge?
我屌！
An enemy has been slain.
嚇！哦。
In the blink of an eye.
Fuck! On guard! 留晒啲兵啊！ 喂，又生果啦，係咪
Do not hesitate.
？Oh fuck！ 哦
Shut down.
哦
Your move. Enemy double kill.
我屌！手而家溝緊個同學講緊波。
Others try. I succeed.
柒啊屌！要錄呢啊條友。菲歐拉打預攻真係柒下柒下。嚇、有女睇波嘅咩黃爺？
Stand ready. Insolent peasants.
跟佢個體力
Sharp
誇張，哇！
sharp
屌小
mind.
妖傑，好睇唔睇？喂，E 上嚟一笨柒。
Run them through.
Wow, 哇！齋殺晒黐線。
They dare not strike back. Enemy killing spree. I have no equal. An enemy has been slain. Enemy rampage. Strike quickly, strike deftly. Is this supposed to be a challenge? Shut down. An enemy has been slain. Prepare to die. Double kill. I never hold back.
今晚屌你佬！你已經冇追嘅，I'm not a fan 所以嘅。
You have been slain. Such unripe fire. An enemy has been slain. Down. An enemy is unstoppable. To the death. hesitate.
佢仲喺度，點嚟？
Shut down. An enemy has been slain. Insolent pig.
Marvelous that!
Run them through. At once. An enemy is dominating. Broken up into little pieces. An enemy has been slain. Others try. I succeed. An enemy has been slain. An enemy is godlike. Back. Your team has destroyed a turret.
睇佢啲乜狗？
Shall mine. An enemy is legendary.
哇！屌有咩肥撚到閪
I
咁？
have no equal. Is this supposed to be a challenge? Turret plating will fall soon. Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. Do not hesitate. An enemy is legendary. Enemy double kill. You have slain an enemy.
啊！哇！擋佢啲大喎，係支板下都冇喎，其實。喂，掃咗我，等避一避先。
At once.
勁喎，幾盤啦！仆街！喂
喺你出邊。
，OK，你打你咪你落嚟接我，你要
Shut down.
佢嚟打一陣，
I succeed.
佢俾學生整佢。
Legendary. Enemy
Okay,
double kill.
哇，再講
Your turret has been destroyed.
OK。兩個我啱啱彈出個露台，好似隻腳俾啲蜘蛛網咁樣。
Enemy has been slain.
掛機，sorry，
Sharp
啲
blade,
隊友做得
sharp
好好
mind.
啊！
Your turret has been destroyed. I have made
哇，有個新手啊！我仲唔攞錢，好少有啊！
strike deftly.
係仆街撞牆。
Legendary. Is this supposed to be a challenge?
Wow, 哇！做咩事啊？想點啊？呢
Interlink.
條友真係
Your team has destroyed a turret. Such unrefined style. Do not hesitate. An ally has been slain.
哇！我去邊啊？黐撚線啊！俾唔秒撚咗我。
Shake things up.
Slain.
哦嚇！
Ally has been slain. Killing spree.
哇！兼係報仇啊！先同大家吹下水啦，打完風。
At once. Your team has destroyed a turret.
見到皮鞋角呢場，你睇下阿叔、阿型、傑、大師同埋菲歐拉嘅嚇，全部都係皮鞋角嚟嘅。
Prepare to die. Double kill. Shut down. I never hold back. I succeed. An ally has been slain. Precision and grace.
黐孖筋呢啲真，我都要出去死我。
Sharp blade, sharp mind.
An ally has been slain.
I have no equal.
You have slain an enemy.
Is this supposed to be a challenge?
Ace.
屌你送咗
An
包回
enemy
嚟，
has been slain.
屌我隻腳有蜘蛛網啊！我行咗露台下一轉，弱智，黐線蜘蛛黐住知我大髀。
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Run those rules. Evening before us. Let us finish
Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Your team has destroyed a turret.
咁你有 feel 到？
They dare not fight back.
An ally has been slain.
At once.
走啦！喂喂，唔想打嘅。
Double kill. An ally has been slain. Ally has been slain.
一對一個啊！
Precision and grace.
The song
Sharp
The song，
mind.
葉大師喺度啊！我搞掂食啊！
I have no equal.
An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
Is this supposed to be a challenge?
Enemy killing spree. Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed a turret.
哇！再肥啲嘢介先。誒
In the blink of an eye. Such onward bound dying.
The enemy's inhibitor is respawning soon.
Do not hesitate.
The enemy's inhibitor is respawning soon.
Spawning soon，全部 spawning。
At once.
Enemy killing spree.
Oh，
An enemy is
Strike quickly. Strike deadly.
誒
I succeed.
哇！哇！死冇！聽啲聲咁搞笑。哦！哇！
enemy is legendary. Double kill. Shut down.
投降啊嗰啲！
Your turret has been destroyed.
我唔打啦，屌！
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
屌啊！咪喺肥撚度。
Slain.
哦，
Enemy is unstoppable.
喂，你醫完就冇咁新啦，哦哦哦哦，投我又有機會添，投撚咗行原來。What a game！ 我又升呢啦。 我想整個掣係撳一個掣就可以整個頭出嚟。等我試下整先。哦，其實有嘅 chatting。我整下先。webcam。哇！大撚到〜gameplay 睇下 YouTube 先。我就去睇呢個泰妍啲新歌啦，最近呢個新 album。哇！我呢個月覺得泰妍好撚正喎，黐撚線。之前都冇留意，點解咁叻嘅入邊？好差啊！
키만 훌쩍 커버린 어른아이 같아 진심이 없는 네 말에
點樣整到咁叻啊？
감당하지 못할 감정을 택했잖아 그래 too late 상처를 되돌리기엔 늦어버렸어 미쳤다 해도 뭐 어때 Cause I can't control myself 네 앞에서 모든 게 잘 통제가 안 돼 다 터질 것만 같아 Cause I can't control myself 반복되는 bad days 비참해 바닥난 감정 헛돌기만 해 헐거운 밤지처럼 상관없어 사랑이 다 이럴 텐데 미쳤다 해도 뭐 어때 Cause I can't control myself 네 앞에서 모든 게 잘 통제가 안 돼 다 터질 것만 같아 Cause I can't control myself Feels like heaven, feels like hell 그마저도 I don't care 난 또다시 내게 되돌아갈 텐데 미쳤다 해도 뭐 어때 Cause I can't control myself 네 앞에서 모든 게 잘 통제가 안 돼 다 터질 것만 같아 Cause I can't control myself 네 앞에서 모든 게 잘 통제가 안 돼 다 터질 것만
睇 JF Live，唔知喎，冇睇好耐啦，已經
myself
冇乜興趣睇嗰啲。一嚟睇下咯。
咁我好似 feel 到奶奶地塌啊！
會唔會叻？
咁
我睇下。
等下，我開始想直接行落去，跟住問：我個蛋糕去撚咗邊啊？咁啊，
係
跟住搭狗嘅打嚟啦。 唔係蛋糕，佢嚟到我間房嘅，同我講你個蛋糕咧就喺度啦。佢遞咗個杯俾我，個杯入邊咧有個閪屎咁撚細嘅 cupcake， 跟住上面寫緊住句 Happy Birthday。
係。
我訂咗個二至四人食嘅蛋糕，你俾咗個 cupcake 啊！我屌你老母啊！跟住佢仲好開心同我講啦，呢個係你嘅蛋糕啊，Happy Birthday， 差啲就拜拜走撚埋啊！咁跟住我企撚咗度呆撚咗，我望撚住個 cupcake， 跟住我覺得唔撚對路啊咁啊，跟住我
個 screen 係咪瀝瀝地嘅？即係喺邊個 YouTube YouTube 嗰班咪瀝瀝地？
冇人整喎，冇話有呢張單喎，成冇啊！我個蛋糕。你個
cupcake 咪到咗咯？
唔係，屌我訂個唔撚係嗰個閪屎咁嘅細嘅 cupcake 啊嘛，你明唔明啊？我訂撚咗
唔係啊，佢有女咧，唔係太投入啊，講真。跟住咧，
唔係啊，你諗我等你個屌你老等咗2個禮拜，有一次係太夜開咧，我瞓撚咗啊，有時差啊嘛喺度，我個腦都有時差，好難仲有嗰個火喺度啊。
係。
咁跟住最後嚟嗰個 cupcake 啊，跟住我啊嗰晚有少少燥底嘅，但係我女朋友生日咁，佢喺隔離好開心攞住個 cupcake， 唔係啊幾好味啊，
係咯，咁咪幾開心咯，冇所謂㗎。
唔係我有啲覺得 surprise 嗰個係我啦，就唔係我女朋友咯。跟住咁啊第三單嘢啊
，100% 我電腦而家。
喂。係啊，我個 cupcake 已經好撚重點㗎啦，冇重點㗎，屌你老母！我最撚嬲嗰陣，你又冇開台，咁就冇啦，咁我
唔值得嬲，冇嘢值得嬲啊！
你試下嚇，即係你同阿媽過生日，叫你阿
你知咩叫值得嬲啊？就係你準備完個蛋糕送完俾條女之後，條女冇反應先值得嬲啊嘛！你送個咁嘅傻鳩 cupcake，佢都咁開心啊，有咩好嬲啫？屌你有冇臭閪？
個傻鳩 cupcake 唔係我送㗎嘛！
屌你有冇臭閪咳啊？你有冇臭閪？咁撚識嘅，屌你！嬲乜？咁咪嬲我？講真，本身有女已經係完全零投入㗎啦。喂，你好。
喂。
抵晒啦！你等下先，你靜一靜先。抵晒啦！我當你嗰個蛋糕啊，買成1000蚊去俾個 cupcake 你啊，都抵晒啦。咁啊，即係你要嗰個結果係一樣啊嘛！即係你送個蛋糕俾佢，同埋送個 cupcake 嘅俾佢，嗰個結果係都係想佢開心啫嘛！即係你都達成咗個結果，仲嬲咩啫？都唔知嬲乜。講真，嬲 what？Don't know 嬲 what？OK， 到你點稱呼？
冇稱呼啊！屌你老母
！OK， 有咩想屌臭
？OK， 個開個 OK 嘛？好仆街，想打上嚟3個禮拜，黐撚線，終於打到。
恭喜晒！
話説咧。咁啊！之前因為我就做嗰啲玩具嗰啲買賣嘅，咁咧遇到一個客就係咧，唔知你知唔知有隻係幾千蚊嘅，跟住係柯柏文，跟住就係星控機械人嚟嘅。
哇！真係唔知。係
好撚柒貴，係嗰啲咧自動變形嗰啲星控啦。
咁撚勁嘅咩？原來即係撳個，即係話變身之後就即刻
係啦，你講英文
啫。
唔知陳偉霆係邊個嗰個咧？佢有玩過大陸版㗎，普通話版㗎，嗰個柒閪大陸版咧。
咁撚型啊！真係。
係啦，賣過一隻咁嘅嘢啦，跟住賣咗俾個客啦，好撚搞笑。咁佢咧call go van 啦，跟住就應該都幾有錢嘅，咁啊收咗貨啦。
係。
隔咗2日啦，佢終於開箱啦。玩撚完之後咧，係咁炸鳩我 WhatsApp，之後問我
點解咧？
喂，你好啊，我想問咧。我點解呢盒好似有開過嘅痕跡，同埋點解玩唔到？我想講咧，因為一定係賣全新㗎啦，就一定係冇假㗎啦。
係。
跟住咧，佢又話自己我叉完電咧，佢又熄着燈喎，不過咧就開唔到機。但係咧，說明書係叫佢長按嗰個開關掣啦，叫佢撳5至6秒啦。
係。
跟住好啦，佢就之後拍埋片過嚟就話開唔到，因為我。
未聽 R&B 好好聽，真係不過我第一次聽咧就麻麻地，越聽啊越好聽，黐撚線。我今日睇緊呢個 behind the scene 嘅，唔知去咗邊嗰啲。
어떻게 하는 거야? 아이.
一齊睇下咯。哎呀，好窒啊！我呢度好窒啊！呢度我個 mon 唔知點解唔窒。熄咗 L 係好啲。 唔拎嘅咧究竟？
So I envy you. 기대지만 기대하지도 마. 몇 번을 되뇌고 되뇌도 그 손길 한 번에 무너지는 날 볼 때 네 기분은 어때? No 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 I guess I lost my mind. Yeah it's my kind of love. 늘 처음인 것처럼 서툴러서도 상처가 나. 무뎌지기 전에 아울기도 전에 잔뜩 해집어놔. So I can love you even though I do. 밀어내봐도 난 너를 못 이겨. 날 버리고 날 잃을수록 넌 반짝이는 irony. So I envy you.
Every time someone tells me they have issues with their stream quality, lagging or stuttering around, I always ask them the same question. Are they dropped frames, skipped frames, or lagged frames? And they always reply the same way. Well, which is okay because it is confusing when you start out. And today I want to cover some of the crucial settings you need to understand in order to fix your stream quality, as well as to tell the difference between and solve your dropped, skipped, and lagged frames so that you have crystal clear quality for your stream. Let's go. Hey, I'm LJ with StreamScheme.com. I'm also a variety streamer over at twitch.tv/LJM_. There's a link in the description to that, as well as to StreamScheme.com, a place with over 700 guides for all things streaming related. Seriously, if you need anything at all, go check out the website. We have guides on everything. Today, I'm going to be adding to the plethora of videos that are already out there on YouTube about drop frames, skip frames, and lagged frames, as well as how to fix them. These will be the best practices, the steps that you should be taking to try and diagnose and fix these issues. But I also want to break down what certain settings actually do to clear up some misconceptions and cover some tips that I don't see get talked about enough. For example, one of those mistakes is actually going to be the fact that you're losing viewers because you're trying to increase your stream quality and resolution so much. I'll explain that in a second, but first, I want to talk about my sponsor, Own.tv. You guys know about Own.tv already. I've talked about them constantly. They're a fantastic resource for all things streaming, whether it's alerts, overlays, you name it, they have it. One of the best things about them, though, is they have modular overlays, and they have static ones as well. If you're here because you've got dropped, lagged, or skipped frames, honestly, getting one of their static overlays might be the goal for you because you can't handle animated overlays yet. You can check them out with the link in the description, and if you want to support us guys, go and support them. Go in any section that helps. A bigger number doesn't always mean a better stream. It's how you use it. The easiest way to understand bitrate is to call it what it actually is, your upload speed to the Twitch service. That means the higher quality stream you're doing, the higher upload speed you'll need. For example, to stream 1080p, 60 frames a second to Twitch, you'll need about 6,000 bitrate. Or 6 megabytes a second upload speed consistently. But just because you can stream 1080p 60 frames a second on your stream doesn't mean you should. I'm going to cover exactly what I stream for you. If you're on Wi-Fi, for example, or you just don't have a stable internet connection that can handle 6,000 bitrate, aka 6 megabytes, then you're going to start dropping frames. And it's quite literally what its name is. You're dropping data on its way to the Twitch server so it never makes it there. I'm going to cover solutions more at the end of the video, but the easiest way to fix this is simply dropping your resolution or your frame rate. For example, you can leave your base canvas as 1920, 1080, but if you lower your output canvas down to 720p, then you're
The Prime Minister has tested positive for COVID-19 and will spend the next week in isolation. But in good news for the government, today's national accounts show the Australian economy is in good health and bigger than before the pandemic. Here's Chris Uhlmann.
A scratchy throat, signs of unease, the need for fluids, and a telltale cough. Scott Morrison looked unwell at a press conference yesterday. Last night, his symptoms were confirmed.
I tested positive for COVID.
Omicron might have derailed the Prime Minister, but the Treasurer looks in fine health.
Omicron has not derailed our economy.
And the quarterly readout on the nation's economic health is also good.
The growth of 3.4% in the December quarter is the equal strongest growth rate in 46 years.
Lockdowns in New South Wales and Victoria pushed the economy into the red in the September quarter. It bounced back strongly in the 3 months to the end of December. But prices also jumped and are up 3.5% over a year, driven by the high cost of homes and petrol.
We have said that these cost of living pressures are biting across the board.
The war in Ukraine will make that worse.
This will impact the price of petrol.
Australia's support for the Ukrainian war effort has begun. $105 million has been pledged to buy weapons and provide aid. A Royal Australian Air Force Globemaster is on its way to Europe, carrying critical military equipment and medical supplies. Scott Morrison's isolation with COVID means that he can't travel to Western Australia when its borders open tomorrow, giving the opposition leader a head start in what's shaping as a crucial state in this year's election race. Chris Ullman, 9 News.
There's been criticism of Russia's latest attack from Australia too. Scott Morrison spoke to the leaders of the United States, India and Japan just hours before the ambush. Here's Jonathan Kersley.
From Ukraine's top official in Australia, an accusation hard to fathom.
First time in the world history that one country deliberately trying to attack and create a nuclear accident on the territory of another country.
Anger over the Russian attack rippling thousands of kilometres.
The world condemns that behaviour and Australia strongly so.
This is an unprecedented and unprovoked attack.
The Prime Minister is in COVID isolation but receiving regular briefings. The crisis developing hours after the group known as the Quad held urgent talks.
Our interest is in maintaining the strongest unified economic impact campaign that on Putin in all history.
Australia, the US, India and Japan also have eyes on China, given Beijing's desire for what it calls the reunification of Taiwan.
If you seek to violate the international order, there will be a heavy transactional cost in reputation and in economic terms, and potentially even militarily.
No one wants armed conflict in our region, and Western allies hope Beijing is paying attention to the global pressure being applied to Moscow. The Prime Minister telling the Quad China's decision to ease trade restrictions with Russia is unacceptable.
We're very worried about this compact between China and Russia, this unbreakable friendship as they describe it.
There's worry too over reports claiming Western intelligence shows China asked Russia to hold off the invasion.
聽日出去 City 行下街，買下嘢可能。食下嘢同埋我自己一個嚟。
Of Ukraine until after the Winter Olympics. Fake news, says China's foreign ministry. It's yet to condemn President Putin. Neither has Quad member India. Last night, Prime Minister Modi emphasised a need to return to a path of dialogue and diplomacy, but his statement did not mention Russia by name.
All countries should call out the appalling aggression of Russia.
The foreign minister also confirming $45 million from a Russian bank held in an Australian bank has been frozen under recent sanctions, and there could be more on the way for Moscow amid growing global concern the world order is at risk of being upended.
We can change the dynamic the world is moving toward. If we don't, we're going to be in real trouble.
Jonathan Kersley, 9 News.
OK, let's go live now to Mark Burrows, who's in London. Mark, it must have been a long, sleepless night for Boris Johnson.
Alicia, Britons are just waking up to this news of this attack on the nuclear power plant. Boris Johnson was certainly across it all night. He now says he's seeking an urgent emergency UN Security Council meeting in coming hours to raise the issue with Russia and close partners. The Ukrainian president has said that he now believes that Russia has resorted to nuclear terror. He said if there had been an explosion, in his words, it would have been the end of all of us. Alicia.
Quite extraordinary. OK, Mark Burrows in London, thank you.
Hello, good morning. This is Sky News Breakfast, live from both sides of the Poland-Ukraine border as the humanitarian crisis
I'm live
from the
in
Russian
the city
invasion
of
grows.
Lviv, Western Ukraine. From here, tens of thousands of people have boarded trains to flee this country.
And they are coming to places like this, Kryschenko in Poland, when they arrive as refugees looking for sanctuary. A seventh night of violence in Ukraine, with latest reports suggesting 21 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in shelling in the eastern city of Kharkiv. President Biden praises the bravery of Ukrainians and unity of the West in the face of Vladimir Putin's invasion.
When dictators do not pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos. They keep moving.
Ukraine's President Zelensky remains in the capital, Kiev, telling reporters he's not seen his family for several days while he defends his country. Edging slowly closer, a huge convoy of Russian armoured vehicles is now just 18 miles from the centre of Kiev. The Ukrainian sports stars, including the world heavyweight boxing champion, take up arms to defend their country. Hello, good morning. We're live in Kryschenko in Poland. This is one of the 8 border crossing points with Ukraine. And over the past week or so, this country has seen 450,000 people forced from their homes in Ukraine, seeking safety here as refugees from the Russian invasion. Overnight, President Biden to say that Vladimir Putin must pay a price for his onslaught on Ukraine as he closed US airspace to Russian aircraft. Well, let's take you through the latest developments. In the last hour, a Ukrainian official has said that at least 21 people in Kharkiv have been killed in shelling in the last 24 hours. Another 112 people were reportedly wounded. Late last night in Zhytomyr, a city about 85 miles west of Kiev, 4 people were killed when a cruise missile hit their homes. Ukrainian forces still hold the cities of Kharkiv, Kherson and Mariupol. But local Ukrainian media reports that Mariupol's mayor says Russian forces captured the city's railway station and port last night. Well, the huge Russian convoy of tanks and armour is now within 20 miles of the city centre of Kiev, but has not made significant progress since yesterday.
The aftermath of a Russian cruise missile strike in Zhytomyr, a city 85 miles west of Kiev. And these are residential buildings near a hospital. Guys, there's a man in this house. Be careful, the firefighter shouts. Ukraine's 95th Air Assault Brigade are based in Zhytomyr. The Russians were likely aiming at them. An Interior Ministry official says 4 people were killed. Ukraine's wartime president, unshaven and tired-looking, as he spoke to reporters.
Work and sleep, that's it.
Can you see your family? Can
No.
you see your kids?
No, I can't.
When was the last time you saw them?
Before this war.
Thank you.
Just one last question. You may have already
No,
answered it.
not before this war. No, 3 days ago. 3 days, the middle part of this war. Yeah.
Then the news that what the Russians had billed as a precision strike on Ukrainian communication networks, right by the Kiev TV tower, has hit the Babin Yar Holocaust Memorial Site too.
Babi Yar now it's bombed.
Babi Yar?
Yes.
The memorial?
Yes, the memorial which
that we made
they started building after 80 years of this tragedy. It's second Babi Yar.
That is Russia. My congratulations.
Thank you.
Все остаются здесь, я сейчас заберу.
Russia is picking up the tempo of its war on its next-door neighbour. 11 people were killed and apartment buildings ripped to shreds in the eastern city of Kharkiv after a barrage of artillery strikes on Tuesday, including this strike on the main government building in Kharkiv's Freedom Square early in the morning. This is a maternity ward in the southern city of Kherson, forced to relocate to a bomb shelter because the sick and those about to give birth just can't leave alongside the 500,000 who already have. Ukraine's health minister posted this picture on his Facebook page of a health worker he says was shot dead by Russian forces as she drove her injured nephew to hospital in Kiev. To the north of the city, the 40-mile-long armoured convoy bearing down seems to have stalled. A US official says it may have logistical issues or fuel shortages. But Kiev waits for the storm that is to come, 1 week into this war that Russia's president swore he would never wage.
And we can talk to Diana in Moscow now. And Diana, has there been any response from President Putin to the latest comments we've had from America overnight?
No, not yet. He doesn't tend to start talking early. But we can expect some response from the Kremlin spokesman when he has his daily call. And I expect them to be typically pugnacious and belligerent, because I think that is the mood that Vladimir Putin is in now. As far as more developments overnight in Ukraine go, we understand that Russian paratroopers have been having an extensive gun battle in Kharkiv around the military hospital there, but no loss of life amongst the Ukrainian military. But we do understand that 21 have been killed in Kharkiv over the last few days. And as we saw in that report, not much movement of the convoy, which is approaching to Kiev, and a fairly quiet night in the capital. But if you think about the fact that Vladimir Putin has bombed in his first strikes in the center of Kiev the cemetery of Babin Yar, which is a Holocaust memorial to the tens of thousands who were killed by the Nazis during World War II, and that Volodymyr Zelensky is Jewish and that his family members were killed by the Nazis. And Vladimir Putin calls this a denazification program, essentially, in Ukraine. It just beggars belief, the justification that he is trying to sell to his own people about this. Because what we're seeing in Ukraine is a terrible war. And what we're beginning to experience here is an economic war that is going to be incredibly long-lasting, longer lasting than the conflict in Ukraine, which Joe Biden said last night would probably end up lasting quite a long time in itself. But here we're already seeing a lot of people leaving. One businessman said to me, Vladimir Putin has undone the work of the last 20 years. And if you look back at the 90s, at least we had something to hope for, and now we don't. A lot of people saying things like, who would want to live in North Korea? But that's the people who understand the impact of the economic sanctions and what they will mean for the future of the Russian people. But a lot of people don't, because they listen to the state's propaganda and they don't understand what is happening in Ukraine.
OK, Diana, thanks so much for that. Well, let's look at the latest now assessment from the UK Defence Secretary, Ben Wallace, who joins me now. Mr Wallace, what power do you think the West has to stop what President Putin is doing without starting World War III?
Well, we can help support, which we have done, and the United Kingdom has been in the lead, the ability for Ukrainian armed forces and indeed the whole population to defend itself. That's why we have equipped, actually from a British point of view, for some months the Ukrainians with anti-tank missiles and other weapon systems and non-lethal aid. And that's why last Friday, I hosted a donor conference of nearly 30 countries from NATO and non-NATO to try and collect up as much lethal aid and non-lethal as possible to make sure they can do that. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing is, as you've seen across the international community, very, very strong raft of sanctions. You know, we have seen sanctions that I haven't seen before. The Russian Central Bank has been sanctioned. A number of Russian banks with their assets have been frozen. You know, that is going to cost the Russian government and the Kremlin a lot, and it's going to reflect into the economy of Russia almost immediately. I think we saw 20-30% of the ruble's value drop. We saw interest rates nearly double. So the international community has shown how very angry it is with what's going on in Ukraine, both economically and from many of us in Europe, the sort of military point of view. And I think, you know, those two things are one of the reasons why we see the Russian armed forces moving very slowly on its objectives. It is behind schedule considerably. And while we've seen some footage today in Kharkov of Russian forces potentially in the middle of the city, they don't hold the city. It's a city of 1.4 million people, and they are taking casualties, the Russians, and they're finding it very slow going.
we'll go back to what we know about actually what's happening on the ground in a moment. But first, you mentioned sanctions. Do you not think that President Putin will have factored in that there would have been sanctions, and that these sanctions would have been enormous, and that he actually doesn't care about Russia being a pariah state?
Well, I think firstly, I think he
我又轉去第二個 platform 再開先，我試下我啱啱 down 咗 screen 咧，我望一望，我睇下嗰邊會唔會好少少，係咁拜。